Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another product that I think you're going to really like. It's a solar power charger and security light from our friends over at Wasserstein that was engineered to work perfectly with the Blink line of outdoor cameras. It's completely compatible with the original Blink XT, the Blink XT2, or even the latest Blink outdoor models, and I think it's a really clever product. Now, I've got a lot of Blink cameras around my home. I've got a bunch in the backyard, I've got 2 in the driveway, 1 on the front porch, 1 on the back patio, and a few more on the side of the house. And I love the product. I think it's brilliant because you can pop a couple of batteries in there, stick it to a wall or a tree in your backyard, and it'll record any motion that takes place in that area for the next 2 years. However, that's really dependent on how you've set up the camera. For example, if you decide you want to record higher resolution clips, maybe in your driveway, in case somebody's out there sneaking around your cars, you can ID who it is. Or if you want to record longer clips, maybe on your front porch to make sure that package got delivered and you know exactly where it is. Or if it's an area that's got a lot of foot traffic, like maybe my back patio, all of those things are going to drain more electrons out of the battery, which is going to cut down on the battery life. So in those 3 areas, my driveway, my back patio, my front porch, I was looking for a way that I didn't have to change the batteries that often, because in those areas, I'm only getting about a year, maybe a little less out of the batteries. And maybe it's my luck, but it seems like every time the batteries need to be changed, it's dead middle of the winter and I'm up on a shaky ladder trying to change batteries in a camera. So I was looking for an alternative way to power the camera that didn't rely on batteries. And there's really only 2 options. You can plug a charger in the house and then run the cable outside, which requires you to drill a hole through the wall and then seal all that up and hide the cables outside the house. It wasn't something that really appealed to me. Plus, the minute I start connecting a camera to power in the house, I've got a wired camera, so it kind of defeats the purpose of having a wireless camera. If I was going to do that, I'll just put a wired camera out there. The other alternative is to look at something like a solar panel, which is completely independent. So the solar panel is going to see those photons coming from the sun. It's going to drink those in, turn them into electrons, and power the camera. Now, what Wasserstein's done here is it's brilliant because it's not just a solar panel to power your camera. That would be cool enough if that's what it was, but they've also built in a light on the front of it, a 400 lumen light that's powered by that same solar panel, and they've got a motion sensor underneath it. So what you're getting here is you're getting a motion light. So if somebody walks through the area, it's going to turn on for 45 seconds and illuminate that area with 400 lumens of light, which is pretty bright. It's not blinding bright, but it's really bright. It also has the ability to power the camera. So they've got a USB-A connection on the back, and they include a really nice 10-foot, actually 13-foot cable that you can run between the solar panel and your camera to power your camera. Now, it isn't just a solar panel that's firing electrons at the camera. There are actually 2 batteries inside there. So the solar panel's charging those batteries, which is going to store up that energy. So when you need it at night for the light to turn on or to power your camera if motion goes through the area, those batteries are going to power your camera. Now, I took the back off. These are replaceable batteries. They're 18650s, which are really common batteries, and there's 2 of them in there. So you've got a lot of capacity built into the back of that solar panel to be able to supply power to the light and supply power to your camera. Now, I thought I'd start with an unboxing. I've kind of described the product already, but when you pop open the box, you'll find the unit. Again, it's all contained together. It's all bolted together, ready to go. You essentially bolt this to a wall. You point this at the sun, and again, you've got the ability to spin this to get it towards the sun. Same thing with the light. You can spin the light as well up and down. And then once it's connected, the light's ready to go. You can turn it on in the back. There's a little switch right here to turn it on. So that would be cool enough if it was just a solar light. But they also include again, a 13-foot cable, some mounting hardware. And I think this is a really nice touch. They include 2 anchors if you're going to mount it in cement. They include 2 nice long screws so you can mount it through the side of your home. And they also include an instruction manual which explains everything you need to know about the camera. Now, the cool part is on the back, there's 2 places right here, and I'll do a close-up of this, but there's a button to turn it on, and there's also a grommet over here that you open up, and you'll find a full-size USB-A connection behind there, and that's what you connect up to this cable. Now, the advantage of having the cable, as opposed to some mount where this slid in and it was kind of married to the setup, is by having a 13-foot cable, I can have the security light by my door and have the camera located 10 feet away and run this cable underneath my siding. So it allows me a lot of flexibility about where I'm collecting the electrons to charge the batteries, where that light's shining down, maybe on the steps to make it easy for us to get in through the back door, and have the camera further away, pointing at the back door, give me the security coverage I need. So I think they've thought of everything. Now, specification-wise, the solar panel is a 5-volt solar panel, and I've run it a couple of days outdoor now. I've had it about a week up there, and I actually took a couple of days and covered it with cardboard because I wanted to see how long those batteries would actually supply power to the light and power to the camera. So I had a big piece of cardboard over top of that was taped to it where it wasn't drinking any of the photons in, which meant I was running on the batteries internally, and I went 5 days and had no issues whatsoever, where the light still turned on, the camera still ran, so everything was great. But anyway, the solar panel is a high-efficiency solar panel. The light in the front is an LED light. It's 400 lumens, and you can convert that to watts, but it's not, again, it's not blinding bright, but it's the perfect courtesy light that turns on to give you plenty of light to see what's going on. 45 seconds. So if you walk through the area, it'll sense that motion in the area, turn on for 45 seconds. Here's the cool part. If there's constant motion in the area, it'll stay on. A lot of the lights turn on for 45 seconds, then you find yourself outside waving at the light to turn it back on again after it's turned off. With this one, if you're staying in the area, like I'm out in the patio cooking hamburgers, it's going to see me out there and know that it should stay on. So that's pretty cool. In addition to that, I think that was all I had specification-wise. Oh, the PIR. It's using PIR motion sensing, which is the latest type of motion sensing, the most accurate type. So it's not going to trigger when leaves blow by or branches are blowing around. It's very, very good that way. We're rejecting false motion and picking up on real motion, because what it's looking for is that divide between a warm body and a cold body. So your body itself is warm and the air around you typically is cold, but it's looking for that differential in temperature to actually trigger it. The last thing I wanted to say about that is the attention span of this is about 25 feet. So it's not hundreds of feet in your backyard, which is a good thing because you don't want deer turning it on, but it's 25 feet. So if you point it down, you can kind of zero in on that area where you want it to turn on and turn off. And again, there's a lot of ability to move it around and point it exactly where you need it. And that's pretty much it for the review. Now, I'm going to show you how I mount it to the house. There's a couple of tricks. I've talked about this on the channel before, but if you don't want to be drilling holes through your house, there are these really cool clips, and I've done a separate video on these already that show you how to mount these to your house. If you've got regular siding, like vinyl siding, these slide underneath the vinyl siding and you can screw right into here. So it allows you to attach it to the house without drilling through your siding and worrying about all the waterproofing stuff. Next, I'm going to take a closer look at the product. I'll show you all the things I was talking about a minute ago, and then I'll show you it outside in the house and how it turns on at night. So I'll have to wait a little bit for it to get dark out there, but I'll show you that. Inside the package, you'll find the solar charger and security light, a 4-meter cable, which is a little over 13 feet for people that have a hard time converting meters to feet. On the one end, you'll find a USB-A connection. On the other end is a micro USB connection. This end plugs into the back of the solar assembly, and this end plugs into your Blink camera. Now, what's unique about this is they've really done a great job of engineering this. There's a patent pending on this design where it's got a little rubber grommet around the outside, which completely seals it off. So when you plug this into the back of your camera, there's no way that water's going to get inside there. They also include some mounting hardware. There are 2 wood screws and 2 anchors that can be used when you're mounting this into concrete. You'll have to drill a hole in the concrete, slide these anchors in, then screw into those. You'll also find a full instruction manual, which gives you really detailed information on exactly how to connect it, how to use it, how to charge it, how to connect it up to your camera. So everything you need to understand about this product is in this instruction manual. And I love the fact that they printed this large. A lot of the companies out there nowadays are going to these micro manuals that are this big and they're really difficult to read. This one's nice and large. You can definitely read it. Now we'll take a closer look at the unit, and I'll start in the top with the solar panel. This is a high efficiency solar panel, and when you mount this to your house, you want to make sure you face the sun with the solar panel, but more importantly, you want to catch as much of the sun as possible, as high in the sky as possible. So the trick there is to go out in your yard and watch where the sun travels through your backyard, and you want that sun to cross the solar panel here to collect as much energy as possible. On the front of the unit is the light. Again, it's an LED light, 400 lumens. What they did here, which is really nice, is they've designed it to be a very wide angle. A lot of these lights are very narrow, almost like a flashlight where they light up just a small area. This one has a really wide throw for the light. So when it turns on, it's going to throw 400 lumens of light in a very wide area. It does a great job of lighting up steps or a portion of your backyard. On the bottom, you'll find the motion sensor. That's the PIR motion sensor. This will detect motion about 25 feet away from the sensor, and it's best detecting that motion crossing it like this. Approaching it, it's not as sensitive, but that's the way PIR works. It needs to see that difference in temperature. So when you position this, try to get this sort of in an area where people are going to walk past it to turn on the light. Underneath, here's the battery compartment. And again, there are 2 18650s inside there. They are replaceable, which is really nice. A lot of these units have sealed systems where you can't change the batteries later on. Not that you're going to have to worry about that for a while, but it's nice to know, 3-4 years down the road, if the batteries do start getting weak, you can pop the cover off, pop 2 new 18650s in there, and you'll be good to go. Also, you'll find a button over here that turns the unit on. And over here is a grommet that if you lift that, you'll see a USB-A port underneath there. Now that's where you connect up the cable. So the cable itself plugs in right there, the larger connector, the USB-A, and they've designed this to have a really nice grommet inside there. So the minute you slide that USB-A connector in, you're completely sealing the inside of this from any kind of water intrusion in there if it's raining or snowing. So it did a real good job of sealing that up. And that's pretty much all there is to know about the unit. They do give you a lot of adjustments here, so you can move this up and down, you can spin it sideways, so there's a lot of adjustments to sort of position the solar panel as you need it, maybe different from where the light is, which I think is great. So there's tons of adjustments. And once you've got it in position where you like it, you can lock it down by tightening those 2 screws. To mount it to the wall, a couple of screws through here and that'll bolt it right to the wall. And that's pretty much the only mounting structure you need, is to bolt that to something substantial so it's going to stay where you put it.
Now we'll test the motion sensor. I'm standing outside in the freezing cold alongside the house, and I'm going to slowly walk towards the patio to see where that motion sensor picks me up. Now, it's supposed to be sensitive up to about 30 feet away, and I've got it mounted on the wall about 18 feet in the air. So I'll start to slowly walk towards the house, and let's see when it turns on. Wow, that's pretty incredible. So I've got to be a good 35 feet away from that when it first turned on, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, because I want to have it sense things that are coming up towards the patio. So it'll turn on and add a little bit of courtesy light here so nobody trips on the patio. And I also noticed that the camera kicked on as well. So that's exactly what I'm looking for, because I wanted to notice things coming onto the patio before they approach the back stairs. So that's pretty incredible that it's up there that high, and it actually saw me coming around that corner. I didn't even get underneath it. I was way over there by the corner. So pretty impressive.
It's not a terribly expensive product. And for me, the problem it solves is it gives me infinite power for the camera, which is great. And again, if it goes 5 days where no light, which is be terrible if that happened actually, but 5 days of use out of the batteries with no solar panel activity, that's a really good thing. But it also gives me the security light, which I like a lot, because a lot of the places I put the camera, I've also got a security light in that area. This solves the problem in one. So I basically bolt it to a wall, connect it up to the camera. 15 minutes, I'm done. I'm down off the ladder, I go back inside, and there's no more of me going out there in the freezing winter to change out batteries, so I like it an awful lot. Anyway, if you're interested in the product, I've got links below where you can go to Amazon and check it out. Now, Wasserstein is a company that makes a ton of different accessories for all the cameras on the market. So they've got accessories for the Blink, the Arlos, all the cameras that you'd use outside. They also make mounting kits and all the other things you'd want for the cameras. They've got different colored mounting kits, so if you want it to match your siding, that's pretty cool. But they've been around a long time, reputable company. I've used a lot of their products for the last year or two and just love them. So I'm really a fan of this product. And that was pretty much it. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try and answer them. Drop those in the comments below. And until next time, stay nerdy.